Okay, this is a video about monkey doodles ideas that I had for a little while now, and I just want to put them down here, record them, because I don't have a computer to write on, and I'm not going to write them on paper. They're just going to end up getting lost. Okay. So, one of the ideas is, okay, monkey doodles, it's a joke. And so this is going to be a recurring joke. It's going to keep happening. It's something that Doodles always ends up in situations where basically she's like escaping. Like, it's not like she's trying to escape on purpose, like she's a prisoner. But she always ends up like she's a baby. She's not supposed to be traveling the world on her own. And yet, she always just like a balloon. Like, if you're not holding it, if you let go of the string or you don't pay attention to it, or the wind, like, it's very easy to lose it, you know? So you always gotta keep like paying attention to this baby, because next thing you know, you don't know where she is and she's in a spaceship. So, for example, there's going to be a boat and it's going to be full of people, and Raccoon is there at the pier. They're waving the boat goodbye. Everybody's waving it goodbye. And he's not paying attention to his monkey. And next thing he knows, the boat takes off and it's already a little bit far away. And then he tells something to Doodles, hears no replies, looks around, she's not anywhere to be seen, and you can just see, he can still see within eye view, far away in the distance, in the boat, the little monkey silhouette just there waving goodbye. And he just freaks out, and he goes and commandeers, like, he starts like pushing people so he can get to a boat, like a motorboat or something, trying to catch up to the boat to get her before she escapes. Because this monkey is so unpredictable. You never know what kind of mischief or trouble she's gonna end up in. And then I thought how, Monkey Doodles is supposed to be the heart. And it's such a, I'm not trying to pat myself in the back, but it's such a perfect, like, metaphor or fable or whatever you want to call it. It's such a perfect metaphor that Doodles is the heart and Raccoon is the brain, and their interactions, like, these jokes and stuff, like, they just seem like they're a recurring joke, but they absolutely mean something. And it's like, if this is a success, people are gonna be like blown away, like, after they grow up and they still have nostalgia and feelings for these characters, at how childish or cartoonish they seem at first, but they're probably the deepest, most critically, like, just like, they really need to be studied in very deeply, because I don't think I've ever seen a character with so many layers as these two, personally. And I've read a lot of stuff, basically all the classics or whatever. Anyway, point is, so yeah, that's one of the jokes. Like, he's like, oh, isn't it nice? Wouldn't you want to travel the world one day? And he looks over and there's another kid there, or there's a plushie, like a fake plush that she set there that kind of looks like an ugly version of her, or a Goofy. And then he hurries up to the deck and he maybe puts the coin in one of those machines that are kind of binoculars there at the coast. And he just like zooms in, and there she is, like, waving goodbye. And the meaning here, the deep meaning here is that if the brain is not paying attention to the heart, if it's not paying, not just casually or 50% of the time, if you're not constantly paying attention to your heart 100%, to who you are becoming, to how you are feeling, if you're not constantly checking on yourself, you never know where your heart is gonna end up. Before you realize it, in these situations, I'm never gonna use it for evil, because in truth, this metaphor, it really applies to how people, mostly, they always turn up to be exactly what they said they wouldn't be when they were kids, what they hated about their dad or their moms growing up, or, who they told their first love that they weren't. They always end up after the heartbreak. People always end up, more basically 99% of the time, they end up becoming shit. Adult shit. So, but in this case, I'm not gonna get to that, but it means that. That's what it means. If you can look away for a second away from monkey doodles, just for a second. I'm not even talking of, he wasn't paying attention to her for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. No. It only takes a second for your heart to end up somewhere else where you never imagined it would go. You never know. So you constantly have to be checking yourself, paying attention to your heart, taking care of your heart to make sure that it doesn't turn into something rotten, that it doesn't get lost, that it doesn't end up in most places in the world, which happen to be disgusting filth places in this world. You constantly have to be keeping check of your heart. Always have to be taking care of it like a little baby, because you never know in what kind of adventures, for monkey doodles, or misadventures in real life, it'll end up in. So you can never afford to, for a second, not pay attention to your heart, because your heart is the most important thing that you have. People, they pay more attention to their brains than their hearts. They pay more attention to what they know how to do, what skills they have, and how much money they're making with those skills. What can I do to, I don't like my job. I feel I'm getting underpaid, like most jobs. If they didn't underpay, they wouldn't make a profit. It doesn't make any sense from a business standpoint. You can't pay a fair amount of what you're earning and keep a business afloat. You have to underpay the workers for the work they're doing. Anyway, point is, people, from the moment they grow sentient and self-aware to the moment they tragically solidify their personalities in their 20s, like forever, to be cursed like that, all they're paying attention is what progress they're making intellectually and financially. Like, I'm supposed to be in school, I'm behind 2 years, I'm going to be behind in my college tuition, I need to get a job, I hate living in this apartment or with my parents, I want to have my own house, I want to have this car, I want to be able to travel, I want to be able to explore the world, I really want to go to Japan, it's like my dream, so I need to have a good job so I can save up to go to Japan. All that it becomes, people, all of them, all they become is trips, spending money, making money, and trying to get skills or certifications, so they don't give a fuck about who they are. Like, they don't grow heart-wise. They don't go like, last year I spent all this money on video games and clothes and on my girlfriend. Oh man, I just feel like such a shit person. I've been thinking about it, what a selfish shit person I am, and how I can really just cut back on a little bit of my expenses and really make a difference in all these things in the world, around my neighborhood and maybe in this country, in other countries, in my state. There's so many things to change. Nobody pays attention to their hearts, ever. They don't. There is a point. The heart, it's at its biggest. The smaller you are, the younger you are. That's where your heart is at its biggest. Which, just thinking about it right now, just talking about it, it makes monkey doodles make even more sense. That's another metaphor right there, because monkey doodles is perpetually a baby. She never grows up. So that means that her heart, it really is the biggest, because she is the smallest and the youngest creature forever in the world. She never ages. To her, time is different. So she's always a baby, the youngest baby in the universe in existence. So her heart is at its biggest. That's how it happens with humans. Their heart is at their biggest when they're babies, when they're kids. And when they turn tweens, they lose most of it. When they turn teens, they lose absolutely all that they had that was special. And when they turn in their 20s, if there was anything at that point, it's completely gone. I mean, they just spring clean the whole heart area, and all that's left is all their complexes and greed and fame and recognition complexes that they have. So people only have hearts and caring and philanthropy and selflessness. They don't really have it when they're kids. When they're kids, they do that shit all those kids on the internet do. They keep posting it. Like, oh, my kid, like, I told him what he wanted to do with his savings, and he bought a bunch of brown paper bags and fucking lunches for homeless people. Like, that's gonna make a difference. Homeless people are horrible people. Everybody, maybe he should have just given that money to somebody who's not homeless in another country, and a developing country. Homeless people are horrible. All I do is meet homeless people all day, and they're all horrible people. Like, they're horrible. They are homeless because they want to be. They don't want to work. They want to watch chicks all day and internet and watch pornography. That's all they want to fucking do. They're horrible people. And they don't deserve a penny. If they want to fucking die on the streets, they should die on the streets, because it's really their own fucking doing. They can work. They have social security numbers. There's plenty of jobs that will take them as is. They will even shower them and shit. Anyway, I'm going to do a part 2 because this one's getting too long.